What's going on, y'all? It's your main man 5, and I'm back with another banger for y'all. Now, excuse my voice, I'm a little bit under the weather, but you know, we got work to do nonetheless. And today we're going to be starting a brand new series on the channel, which is basically, like I've been saying for like the last couple weeks, I'm stepping into a new phase of paying it forward. You know, we've been blessed. We hit 10,000 subscribers, y'all. So this was our first year goal was to hit 5,000. We ended up doubling that. So I appreciate all you guys for joining the family along the last year and helping us grow to this point. It's solely because of you guys that we're able to continue to do this and continue to keep leveling up our content. And there's a lot more surprises to come. So make sure you stay tuned with the family. And once again, we love y'all. So as y'all know, I've been reaching out and saying how we want to pay it forward and give a chance for up-and-coming artists in any facet, whether it be film, music, poetry, whatever you do, to submit their art for us to review. So today, we're going to be doing our very first review on the channel to one of our subscribers' music. Shout out to Herman Martinez. He emailed me the other day and basically was saying he put out an album last year that he wanted to hear some input on. Apparently he found us checking out some of the Pink Floyd reactions we've been doing, and they've been going crazy. So once again, thank you. So he thought, you know, he wanted to hear some of what I got to say about his music. So today we're going to be listening to his album. It is called Immortal Jellyfish. I don't really want to talk too much, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be transparent. As y'all know on this channel, I'm not really the type to just say what people want to hear. So first and foremost, I'm going to always be honest with these reviews, and I'm sure Herman would appreciate that. You don't want anybody to tell you what they feel like would make you feel good. It's all about helping progress the art and push it forward. Now, of course, it's always going to be constricted. I mean, it's going to be constructive if it is any criticism at all. But I do want you to know, be prepared, because this is a completely honest opinion on the first listen. Don't get offended. And we appreciate you nonetheless. And I'm gonna drop all of his social medias. I'm gonna drop everything. Make sure you go show some support to Herman and check out his music. And if you enjoyed his album reaction, go follow his social medias and just show some love. And we'll talk more at the end. Let's just get right into it. The first song on the album is the intro, and is the title track called Immortal Jellyfish. So let's get into it. That was dope. The next song is called Cassettes. But before we get into it, what I really do like about that is I like the fact that although it's intense, although it's aggressive, I like the fact that the music is abstract, and that kind of gives me uh kind of a look into what the idea might be going forward. I'm looking forward to hearing everything to kind of see if it all aligns. But he did actually tell me that he painted the cover art for this album he painted the cover art for this album himself, and it already gives like the inkling of like a abstract piece of artwork. It looks like a mixture of different paintings that I've seen. It looks like chakras. It looks like just a real big piece of abstract art, and the musicality in it. Some of it, sometimes it being off time, and sometimes it falls into place, falls back off balance, gets aggressive, then gets calm again. I like the fact that it gives a lot of contrasting feelings, because I feel like that could be applicable to a lot of things that we've talked about on this channel. But it was just the intro, so we're not going to talk too much about it. Let's actually hear what some of these lyrics talk about to kind of see if I'm a little bit on par, or if it's, you know. That's cool. That's really cool. So, first off, the next song is called Pink Floyd and Dinosaurs, which is, it got a lot to do with what I'm about to say. So basically, what I do want to say is I like the fact that this is the type of music that it lives and breathes a lot in the space of imperfection. And I feel like that aids a lot to it. This kind of gives the energy of you record your own music, you mix and master it yourself, you do the instrumentation. And I think that's really cool because I do all of that stuff myself as well. So I definitely understand. I like the fact that the imperfections of it lend itself more so to the music than cause issues and clash with it, if that makes sense. Looking at the cover art and also reading the lyrics, I like the fact that I get the feel of like different classical paintings in this. I like the fact that it gives the energy of like a Starry Night or like Scream. I like the fact that it gives the energy of those, and it gives like a feeling of balance, but it also gives like the trippy vibe of like going on a trip and reminiscing on the past. I like the fact that that all lends itself to the lyrics. What I like about that song is, first of all, with it being called Cassettes, it gives that energy of just like reminiscing to a past time that takes you back to something that kind of leads to the arc of life that you found yourself into before. I like the lyrics that you put in there, especially in the chorus where you were saying, let me find it. Finally, I can see with eyes in every key. I like the fact that the song just gives the energy of finding new perspective on past experiences. It talks a lot about just being able to reminisce on situations, but instead of feeling sorry for yourself, paying attention to some of the lessons that you might have learned along the way, whether that's with loss or going through personal storms that led to you feeling like that was a troublesome time in your life. But when you actually go back and read between the lines, you can find a lot of beautiful lessons. Phrasing it that way, like finally I can see with eyes in every key, that's like getting a broader spectrum and a broader sense of understanding of life and the fact that it ebbs and flows, it goes up and down like the way a roller coaster does. But I like the fact that it gives the energy of getting a new spectrum of understanding it and broadening your palette to understand more of what life has to offer, as well as being more accepting of the lessons that come along with it. I like the fact that it just feels like a story about love and reminiscing on things that you may have lost in the past, but how it lends to this new sense of balance that you found at this point in your life. I think that's a really cool concept, and I think the instrumentation lends itself to it very well because just even with the guitar solos and the way that the instruments, it gives like a traveling vibe. It kind of feels like you're on a trip going back into like a mental Rolodex, taking you back to a certain place in a certain time. I like the fact that I can feel the influence of bands like Pink Floyd and stuff in the way that you do your music because it focuses a lot on self-reflection, self-awareness, and focusing on how what you've been through can be a positive instead of letting it be something that gives you an excuse to drag yourself into the ground. I think that's really cool. The next song is called Pink Floyd and Dinosaurs.
Lullabies collapse under your side.
think let me tell you what I like about you, Herman. I like the fact that you found a sweet spot in being able to find a very abstract sound because it falls in and out of pockets, which I think in other contexts might be a little bit of an issue. It's like fine tuning and finding just a little bit more tightness to the way the instrumentation flows would be perfect. But on this particular album, I feel like it lends itself so perfectly that it's not even something I can complain about. First off, I can hear the heavy influence from Pink Floyd in the way that you pay attention to making sure that the instrumentation of your songs lends itself so perfectly to the themes that you're writing about. I like the fact that with this song, it really just talks a lot about uncomfortability. I like some of the metaphors that you use, like talking about burning candles in reverse and speaking about from the perspective of, always aching for the night, darkness, you are shining with your light. Wait, darkness, you are standing with your light. I like the fact that it just seems like an internal battle. It seems like you talking from the perspective of somebody that has a lot to offer, somebody that's the type of person that could give a lot of perspective, but they've been through so much that it holds them back from pursuing their full potential. That's the energy that the song gives me. That I want you to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but it just gives the energy of somebody that coming off of the last song where you're reminiscing on the past and thinking about a lot of the things that you may have perceived when you were younger as shortcomings or failures, actually going back to find new perspectives and finding a fresh lens to go look at it and figure out, well, maybe I lost it this way, but this is what I gained through that experience. This song kind of gives the perspective of somebody that's been through a lot, but instead of letting time heal and giving them new perspective to go figure out what they could have learned from it, this is like one of those things where they're letting time pass and they're letting it continue to fester, letting it continue to be something that is stifling to their progress. And I think that's a really cool perspective on a two-song combination because it's showing like the juxtaposition between the type of person that wants to heal and find something better to lean on versus the type of person that lets time keep them in the same position that they've always been in. I think that's just like a cool description of different types of human beings and the different types of people that deal with a lot of the same issues. I know I talk about that a lot on the channel. We've all been through a lot of similar situations, but the difference isn't the way that we all fall, is the way that you have different people that want to get back up versus the type of people that want to lay there and complain about how life abused them. I mean, if you're going to be the type of person that prays to be in a better position, you got to meet whatever God you believe in halfway. You can't pray and expect everything to fall into your lap. If you don't try again, you'll never figure out how this time could have been different. And I think that lends a lot to this because the instrumentation being kind of wonky at times, falling off of timing and being a little bit lax in the pacing, I think that kind of lends itself to the type of person you're describing in this song. So I'm going to definitely give you a point on that. I think that was cool. But the next song is called Introvertebrae. Let's see. It's kind of giving energy like it's going to talk about the mental makeup of an introvert, but we going to see.
Here's a song about being young. I should have done all the things, but I only did some. Here's a song about being old. Nobody was buying. Some souls never get sold. Wanna write about, wanna sing about all of my fears. Don't know if they'll come true or disappear.
This one a lot. This one is beautiful. First off, that's the best song so far on the project. What I really, really, really love about this one is this one has the best writing so far on the project. I like the fact that it gives a journey in the song itself. The lyrics paint a particular picture that's very relatable to a lot of people. I think the average person, you always hear how people say being shy or being introverted, those are learned behaviors. Children are usually born and they grow to be very confident. They grow to be loud, joyous, outgoing. Those are the qualities that make children lively, and it's what makes it beautiful. But as you grow older and you get more exposed to the world, you start to learn a lot of new behaviors that can kind of stifle you if you allow it to. Like, for example, if you're the type of kid that maybe you're hyperactive, you like to have fun, you run around, you got a big imagination, but you have parents that tell you not to talk about that type of stuff so much, or you have parents that tell you that, you got to stay in reality. You got to focus on what's really going on. Don't be so hyper. Don't be so this. Don't be so that. You got to relax a little bit. That can stifle the inner creativity that leads a lot of children to grow up to be very expressive. When you're the type of person that as a child, you wanted to be able to share your dreams, your passions, talk about things that set you on fire, but you were surrounded by people that weren't really open to hearing your perspective and learning about what you were feeling on the inside, that can be more detrimental than a lot of people realize. Let's start off from the beginning. Here's a song about being young, all of the things I should have done, but I only did some. That's the perfect thing because this song kind of breathes as the explanation of the mental makeup and things that go into what creates an introverted person. When you're a kid, like I said, a lot of those circumstances, as you get older, you reflect back on some of the experiences that molded you into who you've become as an adult. This lends itself to the first couple songs, him talking about the perspective of being able to go back and learn valuable lessons from the past. This is also one of those songs because it talks about just things that you wished maybe you would have had parents to push you into doing more things that were outgoing, or you wish you would have had more confidence as you got older to follow some of your dreams. When you have been raised a certain type of way, that stifles creativity, that stifles your ambition to go out there and be as bright of a shining star as you had the potential to be. And now that you've gotten older, people are less concerned with what makes you happy, or at least that's what it's perceived to be. People don't always promote the positivity, and the things that don't get a light shined on them are the people that are positive, the people that are encouraging. The things that are pushed out into the world are, there are a lot of people that don't care about what you have going on because they have their own life going on. Here's a song about being old. Nobody was buying. Some souls never get sold. As you get older, you start to find your confidence. The world has a weird way of making it seem like time is running out, or you don't have enough time to be able to focus on things. And that leads you into thoughts of, well, maybe if I would have found my passion earlier, or maybe if I would have been bolder when I was younger. This song just feels like an internal conversation, and I think that's what makes it really cool. I want to sing about all of my fears. I don't know if they'll come true or disappear. That's exactly what anxiety feels like. If you're the type of person that grew up listening to those voices, whereas like you really want to do something, but you allow all of the fears on the inside to stop you from being ambitious. Because, a lot of people rather settle with the thought of, if I don't try at all, I'll never be disappointed. But that just leaves you feeling regret for the rest of your life. And just like how when I was listening to Dark Side of the Moon, time isn't forever. And if you don't take a risk at some point in your life, you'll always regret it. I don't know if they'll come true or they'll disappear. That's so real, because half of the things that you're afraid of would never happen anyway. This is all figment of imagination. If you allow your creativity to push you to be bold enough to take those risks, as opposed to letting your imagination create barriers and walls that hold you back from chasing your dreams, we'd all be a lot further along. But that's something that we don't talk about. That's a dope song, and I could talk about that for 20 minutes alone, but this is my favorite one so far. You got something special with that one. The next song is Plot Armor.
Song
That's a dope one too. For continuity's sake, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna listen to the album and just let it flow, and I'll talk a lot about it more so at the end. I'll take pauses along the way if I have something of depth to really say. But the only thing I do want to say about that song before we get back into it is I like the fact that the instrumentation feels like internal warfare. The more that I listen to it, the Mortal album feels like watching a movie. And the reason why I say that is because it feels very relational. It feels like the relationship of a person that's using what they, first of all, it seems like there's a couple or two friends, whatever it is, but it more so feels like a man and a woman who love each other. They might have trauma bonded through past experiences that they've been through life, and they've been through a lot of similar things. But on one side, you have one of them who pays attention to self-reflection, self-awareness, being able to heal through the trauma and find a sense of peace. Because yes, you'll never forget those things, but that doesn't mean that you have to let them run the rest of your life. You have one person that's not afraid to go back through the mental Rolodex and go back to those times and find healing through them by using new perspective techniques to be able to figure out what it is that I can apply from those times to be able to be better moving forward, versus being in love with a person that is still afraid of their trauma, a person that's still trying to outrun what they've been through and avoid having that conversation with themselves to truly figure out what the fuck is going on. And it's really from the perspective of somebody that's in love with the person who's running from their past and just wanting to be able to hold their hand through it, wanting to be able to help them find the courage to be able to deal with what it is they're dealing with. I just like the fact that the music feels like internal warfare, and that song describes somebody on the outside and witnessing somebody who's out of balance. I think that's a really cool concept. But like I said, for continuity's sake, I want to let the picture roll, but I'll talk along the way, I'm sure. The next song is called A Secret Few.
Doesn't have to make sense. Seen this song before. Done more with less. Done less with more. Do you miss the place
That's a dope song right there. Okay, yeah, I'm getting more of an understanding of what you're going for. I'm enjoying this a lot. Um, I'm gonna talk more at the end, but I wanna continue on listen to this. I feel like I'm on par though. The next song is called Condones, or like condones without an E. This next one is called Unintentional Comedy.
Same song right now.
These are some dope ass song concepts. The more I listen to it, the more I'm understanding how I feel on par with what I was saying. This is really just a story about opposite perspectives and trying to show somebody a new way. It just feels like watching a film about a trauma bonded couple that's trying to find their way through life and heal through it. Or rather, one half of the couple is healing through it and the other half of it is trying to be able to convince somebody to look outside of their trauma to find some level of peace. I like the fact that it's a loving enough couple that's okay with being able to extend that hand to be able to help somebody through their shit because you know what it's like to be there. I think this is very dope. The next song is called like Statues and Imaginary Cities. I like that title. You got some shit. I like this. I like this. It's like, I won't go as far as to say I wasn't sure, but you never really know what you're gonna get. But I am pleasantly surprised by the fact that there's a lot of effort put into not just the instrumentation, but the way that the lyrics are painting the picture. You got a lot of dope metaphors here that are layered and give me something to talk about. That's all I ever really wanted. So I appreciate you again for reaching out, Herman. This is actually really good.
Lights in the sky burning in reverse. Been waiting hours for a third verse. Aglow with every color you've ever seen.
That's a hard ass line right there. Okay, yeah. The album's getting better the more it goes too. I think that's how it should be. That's a dope ass line. Your skin is the art, I'm the gallery. Hang your sorrows on my wall and be at peace. Yeah, yeah. That's a dope song too. You I'll talk about it more at the end. I just really like the metaphors that you use in your lyrics. I think you do a good job of layering your lyrics, so if you take a second to actually read what they say and understand it, you'll appreciate them. They're the type of lyrics that if you unpack them, there's a whole other meaning on the other side of it. I think a lot of times simplification can be key as well. Sometimes when you have people who are straightforward with the way they write, that's good because it's easily digestible music isn't always a negative thing. But me personally, as a fan of music and the art form of writing songs, I appreciate people who take the effort to layer their words and be able to give it multifaceted meanings as opposed to just being something that anybody could understand the very first time they hear it. I think it's different types of music listeners, but I appreciate the effort that you're putting into it. The next song is called Midnighter. Okay. I like how you did that. That song took you on a journey without any words. Don't let that go over your head. That was dope. The next one is called De Facto Protagonist. Okay. Reference.
Follow our voices, a silence louder than all other noises. Axiom sing along, songs of our peace.
That one has the best vocal. That one has the best vocal performance so far. I'm not gonna lie. That might be top 2 or 3 songs so far on the album. But that one has by far the best vocal performance. I really love the lyric. And if Future Nostalgia, another sequel, and if you're gonna be like me, then I better become something worth being. I'm gonna talk about that more at the end. But the singing on that one was a lot more carefully constructed than some of the other songs. I think that one was the most well done as far as mixing it down and making sure that the vocals were consistent throughout. I think that was the shining moment. The next song is called One Hit Wonder.
Where to begin? I've never known what could have been, where I should go. Thoughts are so dark, you can't see every star. There you are, always near, always far. Tell secrets to notebooks and space. All of these years glued to my face. Wander on.
I like this one
Thoughts are so dark, you can't see every star. There you are, always near, always far.
The next song is called Some New Beautiful Nightmare, Our Lady of Space Mix. But first off, before I really like this song. I like the fact that it's all tying in to give just like more perspective on just the relationship between the couple that I feel like I've been hearing about. I like the fact that he's telling the story from the perspective of 2 people. I think that in itself gives a lot more effort than a lot of people are willing to give. We live in a time where it's a lot of microwave music, where it's always here for a second, instantly enjoyable, easily digestible, and then you move on to want more. I like the fact that the music and the way that he's telling the stories of these people, is giving a lot of room for people to find themselves in it. It's giving a lot of room for people to identify and understand the perspective of what he's trying to portray. One of my favorite lyrics on the entire album was when he said, "We're all works of art sitting in a dark corner." I love the way that line is written because it's so true. We're all layered people. We all have a message. We all have something that we're supposed to give. God doesn't create people without giving you a unique purpose and gift that's meant to be shared with the world. Now, with having free will, you get to decide if you'll take the bold path to be able to share that gift with the world, share your message, be open enough and be confident enough to be able to stand on what it is you believe in and share what it is that you're supposed to share. We all have very artistic qualities. That's why I don't really give people the room to say, well, I don't have any talent or I don't know how to do this. Everybody's good at something. It's just about if you take the time to build if you take the time to be able to build on those skills and hone your craft to be able to make it something that's worthy of sharing. I think we're all pieces of artwork, but the world we live in can be very cold. It can feel isolated. It's easy to feel alienated. And honestly, it's not a very welcoming world. We live in a world with a lot of people who have a lot of self-hatred and they put it on everybody else by doing whatever they can, whether it's through social media comments or personal conversations. They tear people down because people like to see you doing well. Sometimes, not everybody. Some people like to see you doing well, but when it reaches that point where you're doing better than them and you're starting to outshine the moment where y'all mesh together, they'll do whatever they can to tear you down. That crabs in a barrel mentality holds a lot of the world back. And I think that's just really a perfect description of it in a more simplistic way. We're all art sitting in a dark corner. I like that. I'm gonna write that down. But yeah, Some New Beautiful Nightmares, the next song. Let's get into it.
Sounds to die, the silence, the color, the air, staining time to keep the records, your voice everywhere, and every word is meaningless. Never could explain. Hadn't come, but with a cue.
My bad, y'all. We had a storage issue for whatever reason, but we're going to get right back into it. Let's go. That solo was fire too. The next song is called Love Noise. I like that. This next one is called You Are.
Stitching words to your sound. Still time to turn it around. Everything where it belongs. All of your favorite songs stored in the safest place. Colors I saw in your face. Open a door to the sun, where we'll find everyone. Stories we captured, nested as universes.
Okay. This is hard. I love that the instrumentation of that song felt like you were just floating in the universe of colors, just bright stars and like different galaxies with a bunch of fluorescent colors. I love the way that music, I love the way that the instrumentation of that song flows so beautifully. That was really nice. The next one is called MacGuffin. That one is really good too. Bro, the instrumentation is shining through heavily on the second half of this. I love the fact that you're keeping like a common theme of what the overarching I love that the overarching theme of the project is prevalent throughout the entire thing, but it doesn't get to a point where it gets overplayed or it gets boring to listen to. I just respect the fact that you have a theme that gives somebody so much resonance. It gives somebody something that they can find themselves in and be able to have something to connect to. I think when it comes to music like this, if people, I put it to you the same way like when I'm listening to Pink Floyd or anybody else. This is one thing I do want to say is encouraging as well, but you can't let people tell you that you don't have the potential to grow to those high levels, because when you listen to music like this that has such a depthful theme where people can relate to it and it takes them back to a time of damn, I never thought about it. I never thought about it that way. Or damn, I remember when I was in that type of situation. Or damn, I know what that feels like. I hope that they make it through it. When you make that type of music where people can find that level of connection, those are the exact same reasons why they gravitated towards artists like Pink Floyd or a Led Zeppelin or a Queen or any of those 80s and 70s bands that were so prevalent for their ability to tell stories and connect with the audience. Never let somebody tell you that your music falls short because you fall into those same pressure points that those apply to. You have the potential to be as great as you choose to be as long as you keep making music that's true to who you are. You keep making music that has a message that can connect to so many different people that either don't have the ability to speak up for themselves or don't have the bandwidth to be able to connect with the different levels of people. Because, you know, like even when listening to Wish You Were Here, if you aren't tapped into the machine and all of the resources that they can push you towards with the marketing and the money that they put behind you to make sure that the project lands the way that it should, there's a lot of great music from underground artists that just falls flat because they don't have the money to push it. But I want to tell you specifically, this is the type of music that falls into the level and attentiveness that those big name artists do as well. So don't stop fucking pushing. I have faith that if the right ears hear it, this could be something. So keep doing this, man. The next song is called Inner Child. Musical break / interlude parts, they're fire. The outro is called Changing Colors While Dreaming. Let's get into it, y'all.
a song no one will hear. Another artist disappears. There is music in your name, but the song's never the same. And every word has been erased. I rewrite them every day. More sounds and words, pretending to be a bird. Every song you've ever heard, voices in the water.
Yeah, this one is hard. Not the beat switch. And that, everybody, was Immortal Jellyfish. So, what I do want to start off with, first of all, Herman, I do want to say you should be proud, and I'm not giving you advice or anything like that, but the only thing I do want to say is never let anybody tell you that you don't have the potential to be great. Because by sitting here and actually giving this album a chance, I know what it feels like firsthand to be an artist where just because you don't have fame and clout attached to your name, your music doesn't get as fair of an opportunity to get authentically heard the way that it should. I think the issue with a lot of people is they're casual music listeners. They like what they like, and they give opportunity and open and clear hearing air to what they're already used to. They don't give opportunity to up and comers. They don't give opportunity or have an open mind to hear genuinely good music just because it's good. They always go into it with a bias that because you're unsigned or because you don't have a big label, you don't have the machine behind you pushing you, that it can't be quality work. But this was very quality work. If nobody's told you that, I want to be the first person to tell you. What I really love, I'm going to start with the highlights. What I really love about it is, first of all, you had the balls to be vulnerable. You had the balls to be able to talk about what feels like an authentically you experience. Although it's not special in terms of being unique to you, it's you being bold enough and being open enough to be vulnerable and share what your journey has been like. I like the fact that it feels like a mesh between sharing the idea of what it was like to be a fly on the wall in your personal experience, but also it gives a theme of giving a story that's distant enough from you that people can put themselves in your place rather than just only hear it be about you. This is one of those projects where it's talking about a lot of powerful themes. It's talking about feelings of inadequacy. It's talking about depression. It's talking about self-awareness, accountability, life lessons, and being able to turn your L's into your lessons. I like that it's talking about healing. It's talking about masking your pain. It's talking about confliction. It's talking about animosity between two different spirits that come from similar backgrounds and have trauma bonded together, but are still trying to figure out a way to coexist when on one side, one person isn't trying to heal to their full extent and the other person's trying to find peace at this point in their life. I think it's just a bold take on a lot of very important themes. And a lot of the lyrics that you used in this are very reminiscent of artists that I've been listening to recently, whether it be Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin. I can hear a lot of influence from those old classic rock bands because you're talking about things that make people uncomfortable. I like the fact that it's coming from a position of just giving like a painful relationship between, or a marriage, if you want to put it that way, between trauma and past pain with yearning to be something more than what you are. I'm telling you, the one lyric that sticks in my mind is "We're all art sitting in a dark corner." That's probably my favorite lyric and point that was made throughout the entire album because it perfectly paints the picture of what it's all trying to give. And I like that it really ties into how the artwork gives that energy of just floating off into space. I love that it's given like synchronization of your chakras and working towards finding balance in a vast universe where you're just a speck in moment in time. I like the fact that it's giving just like the energy. The cover art gives its own story about if you allow yourself to find balance and find peace in all of everything that's going on in the universe, the rewards will be beneficial. Life can be immortal, not in terms of living forever, but the message and the artistic approach that you choose to put out there can live forever. It's immortal. And I love the fact that it's given like the luminous and light that shines within all of us and using the metaphor of a jellyfish. I think it's really cool that it was a well thought out process. It's something that's not like a lot of what I'm hearing nowadays from up and coming artists. It's a lot of effort, a lot of attention to detail, and a lot of cohesiveness. I think you worked very hard on putting this together, and congratulations on that, man. I want to shout you out for that alone. Just the effort does not go unnoticed, especially on this channel. I want to say the ones that stuck out to me the most, my favorite two as of now, I'm going to listen to it more, but Introvertebrae and De facto Protagonist are probably my favorite songs at the moment. I just love that it paints an obvious picture of just trying to find peace and find something that makes you feel like you have more significance, like you're tying yourself to something bigger than yourself. One big theme that I also like is that it talks about not just feelings of inadequacy, but it talks about what it's like when you tether yourself to it. I like that it gives that I'm trying to find the right way to put it, but like that those slights that you give to yourself where you step back and be like, well, it's just another word or another song that's just gonna fall into the endless pit of everything. It's just one of those things that I'm putting something out there, I'm putting a line into the ocean, but what if I don't catch anything? I like the fact that it shows your feelings of inadequacy inside of your lyrics because you're taking a bold stance by putting out the music to begin with and being vulnerable, especially as a man. But I like the fact that it's showing those little peaks and parts of ourselves where you could be having a great fucking day and just one moment of the day could have gone left, and it leads you down that mental path of, well, what if everything I'm doing doesn't mean anything? What if it doesn't work out? What if I don't belong here? I like the fact that it blends the two characters into one. You're talking from multiple perspectives and switching back and forth because it shows that there's a bit of everybody and everybody. There's a bit of you and me. There's a bit of me and you. And there's a certain level of relatability in the world that if we all step back and put our personal bias to the side, we will be able to see that everybody's suffering. Everybody's going through something. The biggest thing that we have in common is pain. You have your days where you're not feeling confident. You have your days. Everybody has their days. And I just respect that you were bold enough to take a take and talk about that. That's the highlights. Now, as far as rates and all criticism that I'll give in these series will always be constructive. I'm not saying it from any point to belittle your effort or take away from anything that you put out there. I think I'll start off with a rate. I'm going to rate all of these albums out of 10 moving forward. So for this, I'll give this a solid 7 to like a 7.5 out of 10. And the reason why I do, I think things that could be worked on for future projects that you put out, I would say working on getting just a little bit more in-depth with those mixes and making sure that your layers are properly balanced. Because I record my own music, I mix and master, engineer my own stuff as well. So I'm real good at picking out those little divots where things could have been a little bit more sharper. I think stepping back into the mix and just really obsessing over it to make sure that everything is balanced and layered. Because there were little parts where the music got a little bit overpowering and the lyrics got lost. Now I know in this particular genre that's a normal thing. But where we are with the ability to make music feel more full and more balanced, I think there were just parts where your voice got a little bit lost and it was a little bit hard if I wasn't reading the lyrics to be able to know what it is and hear exactly what you're talking about. I think working on the pacing of some of the lyrics in the way that you, what's the right way to put it? Being able to work on the pacing of your delivery and some aspects of it could use a little bit work. And I think those are really the only main points. Just working on pacing and the balancing of your mixes, and I think it'll be out of here. I think this has a lot of potential to be something special, and I think you're really dope as an artist. I'm gonna definitely go back through this, and I'm looking forward to hearing more of your music. Make sure you reach back out. Once again, this was Immortal Jellyfish by Herman Martinez. I'm gonna have all of his social medias, all of his platforms that you can hear his music, reach out, connect, follow him, show love. All of the above will be down in the description box. So make sure y'all go show some love. It takes a lot of confidence to put your art out there in the forefront and receive whatever it is anybody has to say about it. Because, I mean, there always will be points where it's not going to go as positively as you may have hoped. So show that respect and make sure if you're down in the comments, show some love to Herman. That's took a lot of balls to be able to come on here and show your music. So you got my respect, bro. And once again, anybody else out there that has art that they work on. We're at that point in this channel where we're just looking to pay it forward. So if you make film, poetry, you make music, even if you have pictures that you want to interpret, whatever it is that you do, make sure you reach out in that email that we keep in our description below. Reach out. Let me know what you want to do, and we can figure out how we can showcase you guys' art and just pay it forward. That's really all I got to say. Make sure y'all go blow this project up too, man. And once again, shout out to you, Herman. I'm looking forward to talking more. I hope you loved the video, and until next time, I go by the name of 5. Oh, no. Rewind. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notification bell so you stay in tune every time we drop a new banger, including new episodes of the series that we're working on right now. I'm excited to continue on doing this. I think as an up-and-coming artist myself and as an up-and-coming channel, I understand the importance of what it's like to just be brave enough to step out there on faith. Because at the end of the day, sometimes all you have is your faith. Life can go wrong at any given time and nothing is guaranteed. So just take your risks. If there's any piece of advice to anybody watching this video right now, don't let your fear isolate you. He had a good point about that in here. It's a lot of fears that take control, but 9 times out of 10 is not even real. It's just the facade that your imagination is using to put in front of you as a barrier. Don't allow that wall to hold you back. Climb over that motherfucker. It's the only piece of advice I have. But yeah, until next time, I go by the name of 5. Peace.
How does this go? You wanna know. You've never been here before. Go with the flow. We'll take it slow. No need to rush. They don't gotta know. That's between us.